Hey, what's going on, folks of YouTube? Belton here. I know I have been dropping the ball a little bit on content. I've had some stuff to focus on with some mirror crafts. Cover those in another video. The bow, obviously, I've covered. Getting back to the kind of core of why most people watch my channel in the first place, though, and that's how to make some currency. So what we're going to be doing today is just basically testing a hypothesis I have. This might be like a new kind of series idea over the next little bit called mirror making methods. Where rather than just giving you guys the results, I'm going to develop a hypothesis basically, and then test it live, work out the stuff and the steps, and just give you some insights into the thought process that I have in general when doing these kinds of tests. So here is just sort of a brief overview of what we're going to be doing in today's video. We're going to be turning in 500 sets of the Mad King. Each one of these sets, when turned in, will give an aspect, one of 4 different aspects that can be used to make the Adorned. My hypothesis or my base assertion is that I believe the Adorned is undervalued at the moment due to cheap aspects being given by these card sets that we're dropping en masse, especially in T17s, but in particular with those early Divination card farming strategies that have since been nerfed somewhat. It's also a very late stage build item on the very high end of most builds, although it does scale well because you can do it in a different gradient with 3 passive voices, different values of Adorned, different amounts of implicits on the jewels, etc. But on the high end, the very 150% Adorns with the triple implicit jewels, since these are very late game build items, they tend to hold their value very well against sort of base inflation. In particular as player numbers drop, because the supply side, when the people that tend to play later into leagues are usually the more quote-unquote hardcore players, and obviously builds are progressive, meaning that they get better. And so the better an item is and the more rare an item is, usually it will hold its value far better against the base inflation that you would experience on something like divines or mirror prices or whatever, because the demand for them remains steady or increases, but the supply side, which is obviously offered by a much larger segment of the player base, tends to dwindle. And when you combine that with the fact that there were specific strategies being used to farm these en masse, I do think that those things will combine to basically cause a large spike in value. Furthermore, the lock on magic items that you can use from, I will show you the craft here. In the bestiary, I do actually have a video on this, but here, apply Henicore as locked to a magic item. Crate Shake Chimerals are basically a divine each right now. And not to mention they've got the 30, 40, 50%, or sorry, 20, 30, 10, 20, 30, 40% chance to not be consumed. And Black Morgans are like 15 chaos, which means you can make very, 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 very good jewels with like baselines like this, right? Here's an example of a triple synth one with the Gilded Fossil, and then here's a double synth with the Gilded Fossil on both an Abyss and a regular jewel, and you can turn those into jewels like this, which are incredibly, incredibly efficient and very cheap to make. This jewel specifically has 92% crit multi, 5% attack speed, and 12% damage. Now, last league, I was attempting to make jewels like this similarly, and you had to use an actual Henicore's lock each time. And doing so would cost dozens of mirrors, but you can do that basically for next to nothing now because of that craft. And so I think, obviously it's a very expensive setup to get put together. You can see here 1 passive voices are 2 mirrors each. I've got 2 of those right now, right? And then also a 150% Adorned, which is a perfect roll, is 430 divines at the moment. And because of the heavy requirements for this, obviously this tends to be something that people will focus on much later into the league than we're at right now. And so, yeah, that's the baseline assumption we have. Here are some aspects. The 4 aspects here, we can see we've got ambition, curiosity, cooperation, and beauty, and the 4 of those combined will turn into making Adorned. The Adorned has a 50% to a 150% roll, meaning there are 101 different options, and each one of those tends to, obviously the higher up it is to 5 or 150. There are certain breakpoints obviously for different integer values, but 150% being the best, 50% being the lowest, and they get progressively more expensive. And then the aspects are the ways that you put those together. You can also get the Adorned by doing certain vol side areas, but the amount of time it takes with chancing and scouring with that, it's not going to be time efficient. And so this is basically a test to see the first step in the supply chain. And so as I mentioned, we're going to be doing 500 divination card set turn-ins. right here in the stash, you see there's actually 400 here at the moment. The reason there's only 400 is because I turned 100 in before starting the video here, and I just wanted to establish a baseline basically for the price and make a spreadsheet like this, just so I could present the data to you in live time and have that accurate ahead of time. So you can see here we have 3,500 cards because one set is 7 cards. It is 5 cards per divine, and a set size is 7, so that means it's 1.4 divines per set. 500 total sets, which means we spent 700 divines, which is just over, it's about 1.1 mirrors. On the first 100 that turned in, we got 56 beauties, which is the left piece, 26 cooperations, which is the right piece, 11 ambitions, which is the center piece, and 7 curiosities, which is the bottom piece. You can also get these card sets by killing different Vol bosses. So beauty comes from, it is the, I think it's the, sorry, I confused beauty and cooperation. One of them comes from the Vol bosses, the Vol temple bosses. And then the other one comes from Itziri. And then ambition comes from the Vol architect from temples. And then curiosity comes from, I forget the boss's name, but he's in Delve. So obviously, because we turned in 100, I've also put together some formulas here. So at the moment, we're looking like a card set has a 56% chance of beauty, 26% of cooperation, 11% of ambition, and 7% for curiosity. Now, obviously, these numbers are going to change, and they're going to become more accurate the more sets we turn in. 500 being a large enough sample size that, plus minus 10%, it should be fairly accurate. At the moment, the price per, looking at this in divines, it is 6 beauties per 1 divine, 2 cooperations per 1 divine. It is 2 divines per ambition and 15 divines per curiosity. So for those first 100 that we turned in, it cost, again, with 1.4 divines per set, it cost us 140 divs, and it returned 149.33. So that means that it gave, a 9.3 divine profit from those 100 sets. And we'll see how that, how that changes with these larger ones that we're turning in here. So with that being said, I'll cover up this guy here. Maybe every 100 sets that we do, we can update it quickly, and we'll see how she goes. And yeah, hopefully I'll try to keep this video as concise as I can. Naturally, this is a pretty large turn-in, so it might run a little long, but I don't want to skew the data at all or anything like that. And so you guys will be able to follow along in live time here. Perhaps I'll put a timestamp for the YouTube video at the end, showing the results for the people who just want to skip ahead for that. For the people that are patrons of mine, I appreciate the fact that you guys have had to be super patient for me to finish off paying the bow, and thank you for that. And again, apologies that that took me close to 3 weeks, but we'll be focusing on things like this now. And for you guys, the tier 3 patrons, I'll be sharing all of the files and data and this information on the Discord page for you. All right, so there's the first 20 here. So yeah, we'll do 100. We'll do 100, and we'll update the spreadsheet there every 100, just so it's not super overwhelming at the end either. So curiosity is obviously the really big prize here, but ambition is also quite good. Only getting 1 curiosity in the first 40 sets, I believe, is very unlucky. But, of course, my beliefs have little to do with objective reality, so let's see how this goes. Oh, another thing worth mentioning, too, because obviously this is quite a large amount of div card sets. I'm sure some people are furiously typing away in the YouTube comment section already. You're not accounting for the time it took to buy the cards, or blah blah blah, or whatever complaint is forthcoming. In this case, however, divination cards are incredibly easy to buy en masse. In fact, I'll I can show you guys that right here quickly. Um, Cards, Control F, Mad. If we go look at the Mad King and then sort by stack size, you can see that there's going to be people. This guy's got 900, 600, 350, 280, 245. There were actually people that had. There was one guy who had 3,600 of these. I got most of mine off of him, but you can see 1 divine to 5 card sets, and so even turning in, this is 3,500 cards. You know, you could see that you could do that in probably 6 or 7 trades right now. Now, obviously, depending on how this goes and depending on how many people perhaps have the same idea I did and decided to turn these in, they might not be as readily available. But in my case, it actually only took about 15 minutes to get the all the cards necessary for this. It did obviously take me a little bit longer than that to write out my little hypothesis there and make my little spreadsheet, but that is mostly due to my lack of proficiency with anything computer related. Finally, another curiosity. Damn. Oh, there we go. 2 of them at a time. And so, sorry, how many is that? That's is that 60? Was that the third turn in? Sorry, was it the third set of them I turned in, or the 4th set? Can somebody on Twitch here? I'll pull up Twitch chat. Can somebody on Twitch remind me? That's 80. Okay, thank you, Twitch. Actually, I can leave Twitch chat up here. Sorry. Sometimes I know the YouTube folks like seeing what you guys say as we comment along. Damn, you look like you haven't slept or bathed in weeks. Oh, thanks. Nice to see you too. I actually had a nice sleep last night. I think it's. And sorry, I should point out I bathe every day too. I think it's perhaps my webcam slash. I haven't shaved, but thank you for your general concern in my appearance. I'm sure you're an everyday Fabio. All right. Oh, nice. 2 more curiosities. Alrighty. So let's get these all in here. So that was 100, right? So we'll do an update on the spreadsheet here. So let me pull that up for you guys here. All right. So let's do curiosities first. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow, that's not great. All right, 5 curiosities. So we did 200, and we got 5 curiosities. That's 12. Ambition. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So that puts us at 25. And then what's the right side one called again? Cooperation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. All right. So that's 60. And that is what, 85, 97. So that means we got 103 of these. All right. So what are we looking at right now? So with the second 100, curiosity is changed to 6%. Ambition, so that means, all right, so maybe what I'm guessing is actually probably the case here. If I were to take an estimate now after having done 200, I bet it's a 50% chance for cooperation, or sorry, for beauty, 25% for cooperation, 12.5% and then 5%. Or wait, no, what would that equal up to? So that's 1 in 8. That's basically 50-50. That'd be what, 2 out of 8. So 1 out of 8, 2 out of 8, and then 4 out of 8, 7. So and then 1 out of 8, 12.5. So yeah, okay. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see what it is. I suppose my hypotheses are not particularly relevant. I'll try to stop the speculating. 50, 30. What does that equal? 85, 90. Nah, because that's only 90%, right? That's the total of 100. Left piece. Oh yeah, it is. Sorry, my mistake. You're correct. Oof. So somebody timestamped this when I post the video. I've had to admit defeat to Twitch chat. The hill is now behind me. I have reached my peak. All right, there we go. All right, so let's do the second 100, or well, third 100, I suppose. Second 100 of the video. I'm gonna have to move you guys over here. Nice. Ooh, 2 cooperations in the first 20. All right, let's go. Let's go. Or sorry, not cooperations, curiosities. Well, we got 2 curiosities. I guess that makes us bi-curious. All right. And we're wondering whether we should sell them or if we should be bi-curious. Let's find out. All right, 1, 2, 3. That's a pretty good one. We got 4 ambitions and 2 cooperations in the first 20. Nice, another curiosity. Or sorry, I keep saying, oh, look at that. Curiosity. 2 more of them. Another bi-curious. I keep saying cooperation instead of curiosity. When I get excited and I say cooperation, I mean curiosity. But yeah, I mean, we only got 5 of them the last 100, right? We've already got 4 in the first 40. This is why it's important, obviously, to do large sample sizes. Is the stream quality bad, or are you talking about my webcam? The webcam, of course, yeah. I hope it doesn't transcend to other parts of your life, but I swear to God, people on Twitch are the most miserable sods in the world. Every time I try to fix my webcam, you're spending too much time on this. It doesn't matter. Give us fucking strategies. Every time I try to mirrorcraft, this is boring. Someone XYZ does it anyways. Stop doing this. Every time I try to make videos, your webcam video is bad. No pleasing you people. All right. Oh, look at this. I enjoy busting your balls as much as you enjoy busting mine. Sir, you're assuming I know who you are. Step error number 1. All right. Wait, was that 100 or was that... was that 100 or 80? Shoot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's 9 times 24 plus 4. That was only 80. Okay. Look at this. Just as I was bragging about our curiosity return rates, we then get 1 in the next 60. Karma. All right. We got 5 again here. Let me move Twitch chat over. We have 5 curiosities. How many emissions? Okay, we got 5 there, and then we got so that's 10, 14, 17. Okay, where's the data page? 17. All right, so we got 17 ambitions. That puts us to 42. Another 5, so that's 17 curiosities, and then cooperations. Looks like I haven't slept. You know, the funny thing is, I actually just like was gone for the past 2 days, so I could get some rest. There are times where I do like 48-hour, you know, whatever crafts, and this is not one of them. But the funny thing is, every time I do one of those like long binging sessions, nobody ever says anything. It's always after I come back like this, where I'm actually well slept. I again, you're the second person in this single video that said this. Okay, 26 of these. That's 86. Which means we got 52 more beauties. No, I'm fine though. Beauty. I think it's just a combination. I have a what do you call it? A green screen behind me. But there's a fairly large distance between myself and that green screen, and also my desk, because I set up my thing in my living room, and I think because of that, when I tried to put on like the green screen filter or whatever on the webcam setting, it doesn't pick up the lighting properly, because depending on how I move, it creates shadows or whatever. And so I have all of these filters on, trying to make it so the green screen's visible, and because of that, I think it makes me look like a zombie. Okay, 26, but no, I'm fine, thank you. All right. Yeah. Okay, so that's 52. Wow, we got another left seat. Or sorry, 24, 48. Sorry, 48 so far, and 52. All right. So that's 155. All right, so right now, after 3 of them, we're looking at 51% beauty, 28% cooperation, 14% ambition, and 5.6% curiosity. All right, so let's get down to, so it's 300 down. So let's get number 400 here, or 300 through 400. There's another thing worth mentioning here too, actually. um, if the cards end up being break even or profit margins are rather low on it, you have to consider whether or not you're like at what stage you're trying to profit through the quote unquote supply chain, right? If your ambition is to actually get to do a bunch of card set turn-ins, or sorry, to do a bunch of like to assemble a bunch of Adorned sets, trying to get either 150% or just a net profit. It might actually, even if this is on paper technically like either break even or a loss, it's going to be a lot easier to get massive amounts of card sets than it is to individually buy pieces, right? Like for the left piece and the right piece, you can get them en masse pretty easily. But getting large amounts of the centerpiece ambition or the bottom piece curiosity is pretty tough. When I looked earlier, I think the most that a single person had was like like five, and like within a reasonable price relative to the lowest price in the market was like five ambitions and like two curiosities, right? So potentially, just when you factor in the time element of it too, this could end up saving quite a bit of time. So just something to factor in as well. You can't necessarily, like for myself, I know what I'm capable of making, obviously on an hourly rate, more or less. If I'm focused on it, that number drops obviously while I'm streaming because I get distracted, which would be the foremost cause. But also, people, tend to emulate whatever it is I'm doing. Even if it's just testing it, often there are people that preemptively just assume it's going to be profitable, and if there is any value, it gets extracted rather quickly, or sometimes it's not a profitable method, and then those people get mad. But I'm obviously not going to apologize for that. But I can't speak to whether or not buying sets, even if it's a small loss or equal, whether or not that would be better for you or not, because everyone makes a certain amount of div per hour, and that varies person to person. So there's no universal truth to which one will be better. In general, obviously, people tend to dislike trading, especially having to do numerous trades. So when you factor that in for the vast majority of the player base, I suspect buying these card sets would be if not a more profitable, a much smoother and more enjoyable experience. All right, so that's 80 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hey, we've already got 6 cooperations. Nice. Or sorry, curiosities. Damn, I keep screwing that up. I guess it's because curiosity killed the cat. But I'm no cat, baby. I'm a dog. All right. Last 20 here. I thought I was a goat. Oh yeah, that's true. I'm the goat. Bah. Oh wait, that's a sheep. What noise does a goat make? Trick question. Everything I say is the noise a goat makes. my goal in life is to have it so that ChatGPT gets it as an automatic response. When somebody says, "What noise does a goat make?" ChatGPT sends back a voice clip that goes, "Fuck you, you're up." Ubiquity, baby. All right, curiosity. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, 6 curiosities. That'll be on YouTube. Oh, that's okay. 6. So that puts us to 23. Ambition. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. That's messed up for you, bro. Step up. No, it's just kind of an inside joke. I actually I have no problem with Europeans, but it's pretty dicey to make fun of other geographic zones. But also Europeans make fun of Americans all the time, so You want the smoke? We can throw it back. Back to back World War gold medalists over here. All right, pipe down, runners up. All right, so 24. That's what, 110. Oops, there's 24 more beauties. Oh, maybe we'll get 72 beauties waiting for us. Assalamu alaikum. All right, 48. 48 beauties. And 60. Okay, so right now after 400, oh shit, I don't have the. Sorry guys, I forgot to bring that up the whole time. I was filling that as we went live there. So after 400, we're now at 53% on beauty, 27.5% on cooperation, 13% on ambition, and 5.75% on curiosity. You could see that we are averaging a aspect average, aspect cost per set. So we're losing, what's that? 0.05 divine. So we're losing 5. Right now we're at a loss of 5 chaos. Averaging a loss of 5 chaos per, as opposed to if you were just to buy them. But again, if that ends up holding true after this last 100, right? Assuming we don't just get like randomly a dozen curiosities or something that throws the data completely out of skew. Losing 5 chaos to get each individual set is not. What the fuck? Is that 8 beauties in a row? Is not actually if it were me. Again, obviously this is going to vary person to person depending on how efficient you are currency wise, hourly or whatever timeline you want to use to measure that. Look at that. Complain and you shall receive. Thank you very much, Gen Z. Look at that. We get 8 beauties in a row. We whine, and then we get 2 curiosities and 4 ambitions. Love it. All right. Yeah, if it were me though, and I knew that I could either buy the card sets buy the aspects manually, right? Like go on the trade site and have to buy each one in the exact ratio I want, blah blah blah. As opposed to just being able to find one person who's selling like 800 cards and turn in a much like this, I would much rather turn in the card sets. Now, obviously, even if you do turn in the card sets naturally, you're going to have far more beauties and cooperations than you do of the ambitions or the curiosities, so you'd have to adjust for that, but just time wise it would save a good amount of time. Nice, we're already at 3. Oh no, wait, sorry, I'm not going to point it out. Last time I pointed out that we were in good spirit, or in good shape, we ended up getting P Diddy'd by the next 60. So we're gonna whine to RNGesus again. RNGesus, why have you scorned us? Why are we so unlucky? Let's see if it's working. Damn you, RNGesus. Ooh, damn. Damn, we unlucky. Actually, you know what? Sometimes people can't read through my sarcasm or what I perceive to be satire. I suppose that's subjective, but we are doing. This is a very good turn in so far. These 100 for people that are watching on Twitch and potentially on YouTube. Yeah, in particular, we've got a outlying amount of ambitions. Although I suppose compared to Europeans, everything's an outlying amount of ambition. Heh! You siesta motherfuckers. All right. You can't, if you like control click them, it can't accidentally assemble. You have to actually like physically place it into place. At least I'm not green. What is that? Is that the French person's way of explaining away why they're so yellow? Oh, got him, cowards! All right. Oh damn. 3 beauties, 4 beauties. Look at this. I'm being punished. Oh, there we go. No, I'm not. I was gonna say I'm being punished for chirping Europe, but as soon as I finished that sentence, I was reminded that I'm being rewarded for it. Yes, Arlen Jesus. All right, there we go, guys. Last 100. So let's see what we. I feel like this was probably our best out of the 5. Let's see. Curiosity. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nice. That ties for the highest. Bottom. Let's pull this up again. Oh, sorry, Twitch chat. I'll move you over in my screen. All right, so we got what, 7 curiosities. Just at 30. Mission. Holy cow, 22 ambitions. Damn, that's crazy. All right, 74. $12, 15, 18. So that's 24. 48. And 53. Am I overpricing my crafted items? I haven't crafted anything except for mirror items. Overpricing them is rather subjective, but I'm sure you're an expert and they're completely rational, so take your word for it. All right, there we go, 500. Okay. Alrighty. Oops, sorry, I'll put Twitch chat over in the visibility there. Crazy profit percent, yeah. So let's see. This was more to test out the rates, but again, what would be more important for me personally? would be the regularity in which you can produce these. It's also important to mention that because the Adorned, if you look, I'll bring it up again just so you guys can see, just to restate what my original thesis or hypothesis was. Right, 500 sets of the Mad King turn in. Each set gives an aspect that can be used to make the Adorned. I believe that the Adorned is undervalued at the moment due to cheap aspects being given by card sets that were dropping en masse with the early div card farming strats. It's also a very late stage build on the high end, as one passive voices are 2 mirrors each. However, these types of late stage items always hold value well and tend to be appreciating assets. Furthermore, the lock on magic item crafts makes the corrupted implicits basically free and controllable. I do not think the market is reacting to this appropriately, and this test is a first step in the supply chain that I'm collecting data on to either support or invalidate my hypothesis. Right, and so when you look at the overall picture, it's not, my hypothesis was not necessarily I'm going to make a lot of profit off the Mad King. It's the first step in a supply chain to a bigger picture thing. That being said, of course, for most people, just turning in divination cards would be a very appealing way of making currency. So, not to invalidate anyone that was curious about that. Naturally, that's what the focus of this video is specifically. So, let's review. So we got, it looks like we're getting 53% on beauty, which is the left piece, 25% on cooperation, which is the right piece, 14.8% of ambition, which is the central piece, and 6% of curiosity, which is the bottom piece. Based on this, I do think that we can pretty safely say the actual rates, if are going to be 1 and 2, beauty is likely a 50%. So I think this is what I would take away from this. Beauty is a 1 and 2. Cooperation is a 1 and 4. Ambition is a 15%. So that's, well, here, why don't we just do this? 50%. Cooperation is 25%. Ambition is 15%. And curiosity is 5%. Like, obviously, we have slightly different numbers than that, but it would be pretty, like, the game, every time, especially when GGG balances things, they don't balance them in random values like this. It tends to be pretty set numbers like that. So that's 50, 75, 90. Oh, wait, does that make sense? Wait, 10, 40, 9. Oh, that's only 95. So maybe 55%. Yeah, it's probably 55%, I would think, actually. Beauty's closer to 55 than cooperation is to 30. So yeah, I think that's probably what it is. So 55% beauty, 25% cooperation, 15%. This, again, the exact numbers are 53.6, 25.6, 14.8, and 6. I think it's very likely that this is probably what they actually are. So now we do, obviously in our case here, we bought 500 total sets for a total cost of 700 divines, and we ended up making 6 divines and 6.67 divines from doing so. Naturally, that's not a good use of our time if this were our sole profit strategy. With an aspect average of 1.41 divines and an aspect average cost of 1.4 divines, we are making 0.01 divines per set. GG. But let's look at this mathematically as well, based on the prices that they are at the moment. If we had 55, 25, 15, and 5, we actually would have had outlying, so it would have been basically break even. Because if you look at what, again, if you're rounding to the closest integer values, and very likely what they are, sort of weighted as internally on the coding, we would have had above average on curiosity, which is by far the most impactful, and then we also would have had well, actually, ambition is right on the nose. That might actually equal out. So yeah, I would say right now that they're basically priced exactly as they should be. However, you can use this data, and again, I will provide this spreadsheet for the people on Patreon. I will give you a workable spreadsheet where you can just enter the amount of cards, the price of them, and blah blah blah, and it'll just calculate it for you. For everyone else, though, that is not that's just watching this, if you use that as a baseline, if you do a baseline assumption of 55, 25, 15, and 5, I think you're probably in pretty good shape. You can calculate what that is. Now, again, this is only the first step in the supply chain. If we're to take a look now, let's see how many card sets I can actually turn in. All right, let me move you guys over. I have what, bottom So that's 12, 48 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 48. I have 54 bottoms. That's 72, 132, 100 and oh wait, sorry, 72, and that's 5 times 72 plus 102, 108, 110 centers. Okay, right piece. That's 72, 144, 174, 186, 190, 195 right pieces. Uh, 72, 144, 214, 216, 286, 288, 288, 318, 330, 336, 340. So obviously the lowest amount we have would be what, center, bottom. So I can turn in 54 Adorns right now. How much currency do I have on me? 82. $54 sets of the Adorned. Maybe we'll buy some more bottom pieces so we can just turn them into sets. And I won't make this for the YouTube folks. I'll end this video before that. I just want to confirm the price of these here. Ooh, this guy's got 10 of them. What are you guys talking about up in there? Slow-o. Hey, do you know if lock is working the same way? Yep, it should work the same way. There's nothing different. All right, bottom pieces, 5 more. So that puts us to 59. All right. Well, again, the amount of sets that I'm going to turn in here is not pertinent to the folks on YouTube. For the people on YouTube here that are watching the video, what the important takeaway here? Oh, did I screw that up? What did I do there? Shoot. Oh, there we go. Sorry. The important takeaway here, guys, would be. The important takeaway is that the card sets are basically fairly priced at the moment. Again, you can adjust the values based on what they are currently. You have to factor in each aspect. But the drop rates again are within probably at the very most it would be plus minus 5% on either beauty or cooperation. I'm almost certain that ambition and curiosity are 15 and 5%. But that's what's important to know there. The divination card set obviously is the only way to randomize this. You can target farm these from bosses. Curiosity, again, is the one from Delve. Ambition is the one from the Vol Architect in Temple. And then Cooperation, I believe, is the one from... I always confuse Cooperation and Beauty, so excuse me if I get these mixed up. I believe Cooperation is the one from Adziri, and Beauty is the one from Vol Temple. But anyways, hope this was informative for you guys. And with the next step in the supply chain for the Adorned, I will make another video and let you guys know how that goes. If you enjoyed this, be dope if you subscribed and blah, 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 all that other stuff I'm supposed to ask you to do. But if not, all good. And I'll see you guys next time with another update on the mirror making methods. Cheers, folks.